Say, Pomni, guess what time it is? No. It's time for you to visit the amazing digital circus. No! Well, hello and welcome to the amazing digital tour. I am your host, McCain, and I am joined by Pomniar 2004.
I can't believe you fumbled that. It's Kane. His name is Kane. You don't have to butcher your own name to say it. You can say McCain. You said McCain.
I am the McCain. And today it is once again TLT video reviewing time. Last week we covered round 2 and we covered round 2 predictions, and today we're going to do round 2 recap and round 3 predictions. Round 2 has been quite the upset, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So many things have happened, and today we're going to discuss them. But before we actually get to discussing, there's a matter that I wish to attend to because it is slightly getting out of hand in regards to me personally. Here's a little warning, a little PSA to everyone watching right now. Just because someone has a different perspective or a different opinion on something, that doesn't mean you can attack the person online just for that. I am human. I make mistakes. I word things differently, more incorrectly than others, but that doesn't still give you the right to send me death threats or call me names or insult me in front of my face. That doesn't usually mean it's criticism anymore. I can take criticism fine, but when criticism turns to harassment and cyberbullying, that is when I cross the line. And that's why I've kind of distanced myself from the tour server a little bit, because I wanted to clear my mind and clear every single negativity and toxicity out there. So I just want to make that clear, okay?
You're not wrong about phrasing things differently or a little incorrectly. I mean, I just did a whole mini rant about how you fumbled the intro.
Yes, but again, when it becomes personal, when the insulting goes too far and it becomes personal, then it starts to be a little, it starts to get into me. It starts to get into my nerves. So don't do that. Like, don't start to rile up the community just for that, because it'll just earn towards a bad reputation because of that. So, and if there's any point that you showcase bad sportsmanship, there's always the tournament host. They're always overseeing everything. Just want to make that clear. Okay? Yeah. Do you have anything else to add to that, PokeArt?
Not really.
Alright, so let's continue to review our silly little games, and let's get on to the ranting, shall we? The ranting that it's all in good fun. At the end of the day, it's all in good fun. So, yeah. Let's get to closely reviewing these games, shall we? First off, in the winner's bracket, number 1 seed Penter defeated Skimmy the God. This was already played the week prior, and the games, I didn't go in length on how the games went. Well, that's because I was saving it for this, and now I get to be a little rant heavy by my end now. First off, Doubles OU. Penter had a pretty dominant strat in this game, using an Iron Defense body press Komodo set that lasted pretty much the whole game, with other mons to back it up with coverage. This was a pretty nice. It was a pretty nice set of events there, as you can see in this replay right here. Um, you can see. Hang on. Here we go. This one. This is the replay I'm talking about. Penter had Tornadus and Komodo very utilized very well here. Skimmy kept missing crucial Bleak Wind Storms against the Komodo. And if it did get...
Which can be argued that basically cost him the game, because that Komodo ended up being so major later.
And chances that it did get to hit, it tanked those hits quite well, in my opinion. Like
Nikoi, that thing died in 2 to 3 hits. And,
oh no, yeah. It just tanked one.
Which means it would have 100% been dead.
It did. It took 51 there for the first Bleak Wind Storm, and then Skimmy just couldn't get a single hit from the rest of the game. And if it did get to hit, it would have been a dead Komodo early. It would have been a dead Komodo, but nope. Skimmy just had an unfortunate turn of events there. Turn 9 then happened, which saw a double Terra, in which Terra Fairy Fluttermane failed to kill the Terra Fire Komodo at the end. Ended up getting hit by Rock Slide and eventually Flamethrower in order to die, basically. And won Penter that game. Yeah, Penter might have played a little bad there, but you can't deny the fact that he had pretty good luck in that doubles game.
He played it all right, sorta. Probably not the best doubles play I've seen out of him, but yeah, he got very lucky.
Yeah, he got very lucky. Monotype was next, and Skimmy handily handed his ass to him. Easily dominated Penter here, using Articuno to sub and beat Gastrodon, freezing Urshifu in the process, and Dragonite's E-Speed was able to beat Greninja, leaving Penter's Toxapex and Barraskewda at the mercy of Thundurus and Enamorus, respectively. A very well played game by Skimmy here, not gonna lie.
Yeah, now this was nicely played.
Yeah, this was Skimmy's wheelhouse, and yeah, he's well versed. Yeah, I can safely say he's well versed in this too.
Didn't he lock Ubers though?
We'll get to Ubers then. Ubers, the third tier. Skimmy was in the lead in the beginning. Artgron got to kill Miraidon, and Terrafire Koraidon lived off a low kick to Dragon Claw Penter's own Koraidon to death. But all in the matter is that Skimmy just couldn't get up webs because of the Hatterene threat, and also Trick Room Calyrex Ice.
Why would you want to get up webs when you're facing the Trick Room team?
The Webs team works for other teams, but for this team, it ain't gonna work, Chief. So Calyrex ended up clutching this endgame. Skimmy was in the lead, but Penter brought it back because of that Calyrex. Terra Watering against Basculegion's Last Respects to set up the Trick Room, and killing it and Ribombee for the duration of the Trick Room turns, leaving Zacian to Trailblaze to outspeed Skimmy Zacian and winning the endgame with it.
I don't think I don't know how I feel about the Trick Room sequence and how Skimmy dealt with it.
Yeah, you don't think it was well handled?
I mean, was there any real reason to let Zacian get damaged?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I feel like if Skimmy had preserved that Zacian, He would have had an easier time against Penter Zacian at the end.
Question. Did, from the range Calyrex was at, did Moonblast from Ribombi not kill? I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't kill.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Because that thing's a bulky beast, but, like, if it did, then...
It would have mattered.
Then I feel like that's kind of, then I feel like it's kind of odd that he just let it go back down to the sash in a hard switch-in rather than a safe switch-in.
I see what you mean.
Again, there's no reason not to do that if Moonblast doesn't kill, though.
Yeah, I doubt it killed. I really doubt it killed, but yeah. Towards turn 14, I feel like if Zacian was well kept, Skimmy would have had a better chance of winning. Not necessarily a winning chance, because Penter can get very lucky. There could be a crit happening or whatnot, but yeah.
Yeah, in the end, Zacian was full health.
He was full health and he let it take some damage, which... Yeah, you want this thing to...
Penters.
Oh, Penters. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah. Penters would have still... If Penters was well kept, Skimmy's was... Skimmy took damage, just so the Trick Room duration had to... had to get off.
Like, I don't know how, per se, but I feel like Skimmy could have dealt with the Trick Room sequence a little better.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. Possibly.
It's
hard.
I just think it wasn't a good idea to let Zacian get damaged when Penter has a full health Zacian in the back.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. An endgame that could have been played better, but yeah, that left us with a hell of a lot of surprise. It got me at the edge of my seat, and ultimately, I screamed when Penter won. It was just so surprising.
Damn, I mean, I was a little shocked, but I didn't scream.
Oh, don't worry. There are some games that made me scream here besides that one. Next...
Oh, I already know of some of them.
Yeah, next up, we had Pote versus Fragments, the last game sequentially to be played for this week, right?
Yes, because it wasn't played this week.
Yeah, they had to John all the way to the next week, so in order to play their entire series.
So it was played less than 24 hours ago.
Yes, at the time of this recording, at least. It was played very, very late. They had to extend because they couldn't play throughout the week. So they played it the week after, and we got this game. We got the game less than 24 hours ago, and they played, which was very interesting. First off, Doubles OU, where Fragments dominated Pote in this matchup, burning both...
I gotta say, Nikoi, we had just come off of watching an insane episode of Pluto, and then we see something even more insane. Hope playing doubles.
Yeah, we did! I wasn't holding hope, though, that he would actually win, but yeah, he tried.
I don't think he tried.
He didn't? No, I think Fragments just dominated him. I think Fragments didn't just give him a sense of chance. Also, he got unlucky at certain points.
Yes, Lando getting crit and burned sucked a ton.
Yes, Lando getting crit and burned.
Scarf Lando would have actually been kind of nice in this matchup.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like basically most things here being weak to either flying or ground, so...
Yeah, Lando was a perfectly fine matchup. It was actually a good matchup against Fragments' whole team. Too bad that it didn't quite pan out that way. Also, the Rillaboom also
I won't say whole team, because, like, it's also a Scarf Lando, which means once it locks into a move, you can kind of play around that. But, like, It very much would have been nice here.
Yeah, also the Rillaboom also getting burned, which wasn't as crucial as the Lando was, but having 2 burned mons.
Well, the Rillaboom getting burned wasn't Tax. That was Heatran using Will-O-Wisp.
Oh, that's right. Oh, right. But still, letting it get burned, like, yeah, kind of gave Poto a severe disadvantage in the beginning of that game. Fragments just utilized most opportunities to put Torkoal and Diancie to sleep. And even using Goldango and Tornadus combo at the latter part of this game to win. It was not a very surprising doubles game, to say the least. It may be insane that Pote entered doubles territory, but after being such the de facto leader of the anti-doubles agenda.
Yeah, I gotta ask, is Fragments the higher seed here?
Yes, he is.
Pick the first tier?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is the first seed, so...
so he picked first.
It makes sense. It makes sense. RU was next. Tinkaton Wars at the start, although Fragments was hampered a bit thanks to the Slowbro Scaldburn early on, allowing Pote to preserve even more health on his own Tinkaton for later.
Why is Tinkaton in RU?
What?
Why is Tinkaton in RU?
I have no idea, and quite frankly, that should be RUBL by now.
Why is Pote's team? Why does Pote's team look like something out of like pre-home UU?
It does kind of remind. Now that you say that, it does kind of remind me of pre-DLC early ass Gen 9 RU when Tinkaton was the threat in RU.
I see people saying that this gen's UU is this gen's OU. Well, look at this.
Like
this gen's RU is this gen's UU.
Yes, they just bumped up a tier basically. Yeah. Or bumped down, I guess, or bumped. I don't know,
bumped
whatever.
Down, I think.
All right. Talonflame managing to get burns on both Slitherwing and Cyclizar. Although both didn't matter as much as Rock's damage was too severe on Fragmentus' end, like getting rid of the heavy duty boots was definitely like a big thing on Fragments.
Also, I really think he should have switched in Talonflame the turn that Pote's Tinkaton used Rocks the second time. Because, I mean, Talonflame's just naturally a good switch into Tinkaton, and, well, if that thing gets Rocks up, your Talonflame's gonna have a little trouble, and I mean, if you switch in the Talonflame that turn, you get to defog.
Yeah, but especially when you have boots knocked off before you can get the switch in, because Talonflame is such a good switch in. Once Tinkaton had that Rocks up, that Talonflame could not get in afterwards. It is when you're low health.
Also, not that Pote knows that. It's not like Pote knows that Fragments' Talonflame cannot actually hit the Tinkaton.
No. No, definitely not.
So he probably would have switched it out rather than staying in or encoring or something, or whatever Tinkatons do.
But you pretty much hit the nail on the head. Tinkaton usually does one thing: Stealth Rock, Gigaton Hammer, Knock Off, Encore.
That's not one thing. That's 4 things.
You get what I mean. All right, Pote had a pretty strong end game by the end though. Fezandipiti ended up being Fragments' last potential win con before succumbing to
How did you just pronounce it?
Fezandipiti. What? You got a better pronunciation for this bird?
Fezan?
Fezandipiti.
Nikoi, it's a pheasant.
Pheasant Epiti. That just sounds weird. How did you say it then?
I would say it like it's a pheasant. Pheasantipity.
Oh, pheasant and serendipity. Wow, okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, pheasant. That's gonna be hard to adjust now. Pheasantipity ended up being Fragment's last potential win con before succumbing to Tyranitar, securing the victory for Pote.
That was a banded T-Tar.
Yeah, it
which
was a pretty band.
Very common in UU earlier this year.
Yeah. Now banded T-Tar is gonna be a menace in RU if it chooses to.
Why is it in RU?
Why is it in
What
RU?
happened?
It's like Gen 8 all over again. And then Monotype. Monotype happened. There were interesting sets on full display. I have to give both credit for coming up with these. Specially focused Dragonite using Ice Beam and Thunderbolt from the ones we saw.
Yeah, that was weird.
I mean,
is that standard?
I want to know.
Is that standard?
I also want to know if that's standard because that just seems interesting to me. And
the way I see it, maybe Frags knew Pote would bring flying, or just guessed he would, because the way I see it, he brought a flying team that's very good into other flying teams.
I mean, yeah, you had a lot of ice beams. You had a lot of very reliant on Dragonite.
You cover flying's two primary weaknesses in ice and electric. Like Pote has a flying team that's supposed to negate a lot of flying's primary weaknesses. Like we have Lando, Corvi, and Gliscor, who are all neutral to rock. We have Corvi and Gyarados, who are both neutral to ice. We have Lando and Gliscor, who are immune to electric. It's something that deals with all flying's weaknesses relatively okay.
Yeah.
And, but it can't exactly deal with all those weaknesses when all of them are present at once.
Yeah,
except rock in this case. There's no rock on Fragments' team, but ice and electric, yeah, that's, nasty.
That is a very nasty. That raises up Dragonite's usage by a lot in terms of flying. So, yeah, Dragonite's gonna be hella useful.
I was talking about having a Zapdos and Articuno, but yeah, having a special Dragonite with Ice Beam and Thunderbolt is also very.
It's very good.
That's almost suspicious, man.
It is.
I'm not
very
accusing
good.
Fragments of anything, but that's really good into this.
Yeah, that is very good. That should raise Dragonite's usage up a lot in Monotype by then. There's also Gyarados with Roar and Thunder Wave that we saw hit in these games. So support Gyarados.
That's actually even weirder. Actually.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff.
Maybe the Dragonite set ain't the weird one here.
Yeah, the support Gyarados with Thunder Wave and Roar. That was interesting to see. Pote relied way. Go ahead.
Are both of these standard?
I want to know. Let us know in the comments below. Pote did rely. I noticed in this game that Pote relied way too much on his Enamorus early. He was trying to get the boosts up with superpower, but Fragments only took advantage of it whilst doing Iron Head damage with Corvi and switching it to Gliscor, which are both really good defensive options against Enamorus. Had Corvi not roost, it would just tank it.
More like a good defensive option against superpower, because in Gliscor's case, because that Moonblast a frick ton.
Yes, it does do a frick ton. Although Pote wasn't, Pote had hacks placed upon him. He missed a Stone Edge on turn 13, which was crucial. And Dragonite became a huge factor in the endgame, the Dragonite we just talked about.
Stone Edge did not kill.
Oh, it had, it's either bulky invested, or there was just no invested in the attack with the Stone Edge. Luck.
The Dragonite was bulky, Mikoi.
Okay, that makes
Ain't
sense.
no way you run a Landorus without attack investment.
It would
In
be
mono, at least.
you'd be weird if you do. And Luck just kept faltering. Pote intimidated Enamorus, who had Contrary to kill it, and then paralyzing Corviknight at turn 29. Who Pote then just kept roosting and roosting until it was fully paralyzed by the end, securing the victory for Fragments at the end.
I don't get why Pote said RNG didn't want him to win at the end of all things, because, brother, you did not have a chance by that point.
Yeah, you didn't. The hacks was just the icing on the cake, as some people would say. So, Fragments took the win and was moving on to round 3 of the winner's bracket. Next up, another surprise. We got Botsy versus 7U992. This went to 3 games, and it was
I don't think this was that much of a surprise. 7U's good.
7U did impress. I will give him that. 7U992 did impress in this game. First of all, in OU, where he looked very good in the beginning, using Dragonite to offset Ironmoth's damage via multi-scale to kill it, and there's Grassy Terrain strats as well to beat the Walking Wake. Goldingo outpaced King Gambit a lot thanks to recover spamming and killing it at a crucial paralysis on turn 20. And then there was Botsy's ace in the hole, which was the Terra Ghost Mousehold, which was very useful in defeating both Sneasler and the aforementioned Goldingo. So, well done to Botsy for capitalizing on that. Got anything else to say about this game?
That Mousehold was banded, I think.
I wouldn't be surprised if it is. It did so much damage and got very good rolls.
The damage it did on the +1 defense Sneasler, I refuse to think it does that normally, because its attack stats kind of crap.
Well,
even with Technician
and Population Bomb, it's just not gonna do well. But apparently it did. Ubers was next, which 7U heavily outpaced Botsy in this tier. Heavily. Using the hazard stack to his full potential and damaging points at crucial moments, such as Gliscor and Clodsire's Earthquakes being strong enough to hit Eternatus with good damage. Koraidon tanking Kyogre's Ice Beam to break its sub with Low Kick. And Arceus Fire defeating Zacian Crown at the end. So, very, very good to win by 7U992 in Ubers. I was very happy with the result. And just the way he played.
I guess it makes sense that Botsy didn't want his Eternatus getting not Eternatus. The other Mons getting chipped, but did Eternatus really have to keep taking those Earthquakes from Gliscor and stuff?
Nope. He could have had a good switch out by then, but I guess he was just trying. I guess he was just PP stalling.
I'm not really asking you quite, because I don't think you have a definite answer regarding that.
Yeah, I'm just speculating at this point. Maybe he could have switched it out. Maybe it was just PP stalling. I don't know. But yeah. And then RU was next. RU was the third game, and this one was interesting. Botsy trapped Tinkaton fairly well with the Scarf, forcing the sack to Gardevoir. Revavroom did some heavy work in this game. Shift gearing and Terra Grounding to beat Cyclizar with high horsepower. Even tanking Terra Bug Slitherwing's first impression to kill it. But it just couldn't kill Quagsire at turn 17, being Earthquaked to death as a result. And then, in the end, all 7U9 had was the Zoroark, which managed to beat both the Mimikyu and the Slitherwing at the end, giving 7U the victory.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I thought Batsy had that
I also thought Batsy
until
would
the
have.
end.
Yeah, I was rewatching this game over and over again and thinking, why the hell? How the hell did Batsy lost? It was in good pace to win. But the 7U proved us wrong and clutched that endgame. So, well done. Next up was JJ versus Royal Reloaded. This went to, again, 3 games. There's a lot of these. Get ready to see a lot of 3-game series in this one, folks. OU, JJ played this completely straight. Very, very straightforward, and ultimately kind of just outplayed. He was one step ahead out of Royal Reloaded pretty much throughout this whole game. Using Ogrepon well enough to claim kills for multiple mons, even encoring King Gambit at one point. Glimmet for OKOing Thunderous immediately, and his own King Gambit outmatching Royal's King Gambit, even getting kind of a lucky flinch. I say that in quotation marks. So yeah, JJ won. Very, very, very well played game for JJ, especially in OU. I had no doubts that JJ would win OU. Then Monotype, which Royal, I had no surprise that Royal would win Monotype. Because Empoleon's competitive ability and Spadef drop was able to kill Corviknight at turn 5. Glyce...
Yeah, that was a little silly.
It was a little silly, but it was interesting. Then Azumarill knocking off the Gliscor's Toxic Orb was a pretty smart play on Royal's part. I feel like if JJ kept the Gliscor's Toxic Orb, he would have had a better chance of outstalling Royal, but it's not a guarantee because it was against a water team. So... And then it seemed Thunderous was going to do damage, but Thunderbolting on turn 27 wasn't exactly the smartest play, allowing Gastrodon to freely chip it and then kill it in the next turn. I wish he could have done something different with it.
Yeah, maybe he predicted a switch?
Maybe he was trying to go for the switch, but... You know, Gastrodon is just well enough. It's just a well enough matchup for against any Thundurus, except if that Thundurus had Grass Knot or had Focus Blast, which could do wonders to Gastrodon if Gastrodon didn't have any good special defense investment. But yeah, JJ.
Well, Mikoi, I think he was. I think one was betting on the fact that they. How do I say this? I think one was betting on I think JJ was betting on Royal, thinking he had... It's a complicated way of saying it, I know. JJ was betting on Royal, thinking he had Grass Knot on his Thundy.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
And expected him to switch to something that wouldn't die to it.
Yeah,
what was alive at the time? Oh yeah, everything was alive at the time. Could have predicted him switching to to Empoleon or something.
Yeah, just something that would tank. Just something that would tank a Grass Knot, so that Gastrodon would be not allowed. Gastrodon would come in safely later, but yeah, it was unfortunate that it had to happen that way.
Yeah, but I also think that JJ didn't actually have Grass Knot.
Yeah, I bet that is not a Grass Knot Thundurus as well.
There was no reason to not go for it if he had it.
Yeah. RU then happened, which Mousehold missing the population bomb on turn 9 was pretty detrimental as Crocodile came in on...
And then it hitting only 5 times the turn after, or am I thinking of a different game?
I actually am not sure. Let me check. Yeah, it did only hit 5 times, which was kind of unfortunate. Yeah, again, yeah, Having it only hit 5 times and missing on turn 9, that wasn't pretty unfortunate for Royal as Earthquake
I
then
think
killed.
the order is inversed, but yes.
Yeah. JJ once again completely playing straight again in this game. It was not like Monotype where you had to kind of adjust. This time this was a little bit more straightforward. See, up to his par, as you might call it. Typhlosion was able to do big damage against Vaporeon with the Infernal Parade, and Tinkaton as well, taking some big damage from Fire Blast.
Yeah, I guess Royal didn't expect JJ to stay in with his Typhlosion, because I guess that makes sense. You wouldn't want your Typhlosion to take a Scald.
A Scald, yeah.
Which, unfortunately, that gave, Royal thought wrong and allowed Vaporeon to take a little too much damage.
A little too much from Infernal Parade, you mean?
Yes,
yeah.
That's too much damage.
That is very good damage. And yeah, Terra Dark Tinkaton was able to knock off big damage with the Fire Blast, very effective. Cyclizar, nice pivoting and rapid spinning his way, very well played. That's a very well played Cyclizar if I ever do see one. And even Fezandipity getting a lucky Toxic Chain at the last turn, which forced the JJ win, which kind of secured JJ the win there. Again, very well played. Maybe this tour was just to spite me because I thought JJ of like Jujutsu Kaisen and put him at B tier when in reality.
What?
I think TLT is out to spite me, and JJ's doing well. If he actually makes it to the finals of the winners bracket, I'm gonna actually take back what I mean in the tier list then. So we'll see what happens. That's a pretty high standard, but then again, a lot of people are highly praising JJ. So there you go. Well done, JJ. Anyways, next up, number 2 seed Hellray. Let's rumble, shall we? Defeating Genius from Hoenn. Another upset. And another pretty big one as well. In the winners bracket too. First off, in UU, Inertial kind of brought a very uninteresting team. I didn't like the look of it, and I think a lot of people had an issue with it as well. But somehow he played the better against Hoenn. Hoenn just kind of played passively, if I'm being honest. What did you think, Pokeart?
Yeah, in UU, I think Hoenn had a good start, but yeah, he wasn't really able to make enough progress through the game long term.
He wasn't being aggressive. From my perspective, Hoenn was just not being very aggressive, whilst Inertial was just kind of outstalling him, trying to predict the switch, trying to go for a nice pivot or something. It was just not a very well played game. Especially in the long run. There was nothing really that I noted. There was nothing really that stood out to me other than Inertial burning Iron Hands by the end, which could have been a real asset to Hoenn if he manages to get in safely enough to actually do some damage, but
nah, I don't think he quite had the tools to win. I mean,
his team was very hard. Yeah,
Inertial's team was a little hard to deal with between like having the encore Scream Tail and the taunt on Cyclizar. That's when I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of a hard to deal with team.
It's annoying. It's an annoying team. So yeah, a lot of people took issue, but Hellray ended up winning. Very unsurprising, but yeah, whatever. Uber's Hoenn was pretty outmatched here in Trick Room, as Inertial used the Ursaluna to beat Arceus ground. Kyogre managing to crit Clodsire with Ice Beam. Calyrex managing to beat both Skeledirge and Zacian. And Miraidon, despite being Hoenn's last-ditch effort as it crit Oko Uxie, fell to Ursaluna by the end.
Man, I still can't believe he brought a Uxie.
He did bring a Uxie, and that is the team that won, PokeArt. Could you believe that?
You know, Hellray's bringing some whack stuff in Ubers for the past 2 weeks in a row.
Somehow they work! PokeArt.
Paying off. It's paying off.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting from the way his teams were set up and actually prepped against El Cap in the first round, and now Genius from Hoenn in here. It's interesting. I can't say it was not lazy. I can't say that it was lazy. I just think it was very whack.
Yeah, what are you talking about with laziness? That wasn't lazy.
That wasn't lazy.
At all.
That wasn't lazy. That was actually like a whack set that paid off at the end. Next up, Nimzo beating Keshba via Act Call. That's right, because they couldn't agree. They couldn't schedule at a proper time, so Nimzo just kind of claimed Act and won against Keshba there.
Well, of course, Keshba loses the one time I think he'll win.
Should have bet with your gut, PokeArt.
That was my gut, Mikoi. If they played, I think Keshba would have won.
Oh, your gut was wrong. Finally, for the first time in forever. Next up, Siphican versus Taka. Another huge upset as Siphican actually managed to win. I was right. So, Ubers. Taka had the upper hand in this matchup. Kyogre in outplaying the Terra Fairy Arc Ground and Terra Dragon Miraidon, outsweeping the endgame, defeating Skeledirge and outspeeding Koraidon and Zacian at the end to win. It was not a very surprising victory for Taka as he won Ubers very, very convincingly. Monotype was next. Interestingly, Spectrier couldn't kill Heatran even after +1 Calm Mind and Hex. Maybe Hex, or it's just Hex wasn't doing as much as like a Shadow Ball or something. Sacking it after being trapped by a Magma Storm. Scarf Ceruledge tanking Volcarona's Fiery Dance well and then even killing it with Poltergeist.
Are we sure it was Scarf?
I want to say that it is Scarf, or maybe Siffy mentioned it in chat. I don't know.
I mean, that could just be a slow Volk.
Maybe, but the fact that it outspeeded it at all just surprised me.
Ceruledge isn't that slow, Mikoi.
Right, but it only is good with it only gets faster with weak armor. At the end, Cinderace just kept missing the Pyro Balls, allowing Basket Legion to freely chip it at the end with the Shadow Ball. Poor Taka. Couldn't even get a single Pyro Ball.
Yeah, I think Taka might have won if those hit. I don't remember.
He had a good chance of being... He had a good chance if he had managed to hit those Pyro Balls, but yeah. Just couldn't hit. Also, interestingly enough, Siffy showed at least one of his sets here, and what the hell? A Choice Scarf Fluttermane?
Oh, what?
Yeah, he showcased this, and that set caught me off guard. What the hell?
Huh.
Maybe just...
What is that for?
Maybe it's just to outspeed the Scarfers or something. I don't know. Explain that, Siffy. And then OU was next. Where Siphicon brought hard stall. It was an interesting choice. Terra Steel Clodsire managing to tank Goldingo's Psy Shocks even after +2 nasty plot. That was very well and effective. Then Great Tusk managed to crit kill Amoongus at turn 40. A very nice leniency for Taka by that point, but in the end, it was the Dondozo tanking the physical hits against the Dragonite well, and Blissey tanking Ribambi's Moonblast's well. That was just enough for Siphi to capitalize and take that win. What can you say, PokeArt, other than stall?
Stall.
Next up.
I'm sorry, that's not something other than stall.
well, it sums up the game in one word. Next up, the last one in the winner's bracket, we have Arcanine 1929 losing to Tanish. This wasn't surprising at all, but Arcanine did mention to me that it was for the memes, and it was, again, for the memes. Tanish sacked his Indeedee just to stall out the toxic turns at the beginning against Scyther. Was not the smartest of plays, considering Arcanine's team. I feel like Indeedee is just one of those monsters that had a good matchup against everything Arcanine brought, and Tanish just kind of sacked it in the beginning, kind of giving him a slight disadvantage.
Hold up. I think I need to watch this again, see what you mean. He did have a good chance to be pretty... I guess it could have been good here, though clearly he didn't need it too badly in the end. It wasn't super detrimental.
Yeah, I guess. Turn 6 was funny because this one had the berry fiasco that happened. Custep Berry Caparaja, which makes sense because if it's something slow and tanky, you need something like a Custep Berry to get in a move quickly before it dies. But Salazzle brought something interesting. A Salackberry Salazzle.
Yeah, that... apparently it's somewhat common in HO teams in this tier.
I've been told that this outspeeds Scarfers, but...
Oh, yeah, obviously.
But, what? Why? Why would you risk that? Then just run Scarf then. Just run Scarf on your own Salazzle. What the hell are you doing with Salac?
No, Miko, you don't get it. If you run Salac while also running Nasty Plot, think of that.
Yeah, I mean, that could be good sweeping potential, but...
It's far more destructive than a normal Scarfer. Especially because you're not locked into any move.
Well, good luck handling priority then. If you're only lucky that you got a Psychic Terrain off. Maybe pair up Indeedee and Salazzle with Salackberry. Then I'll be convinced.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, you would not get priority off. Then again, the rest of the game was very...
There's also not a lot of priority in this tier that Salazzle is scared of. There's no
really?
E-speeders or anything.
Is Lycanroc in this tier? No, it's RU, isn't it?
Oh wait, Midday Lycanroc is.
Have fun dealing with Accelerox if you're not Psychic Terrain or Queenly Majesty or whatever.
Never mind. I guess that's one priority you gotta be fearful of, though yeah. I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else either. But yeah, overall it was just a very uninteresting game, although there are some weird going on, which Or was it the other game? No, it was definitely this because it was Arcanine and Tanish.
Oh yeah, quick attack on Scyther, I guess. Sometimes you gotta worry about that.
Yeah. Then the Tauros ending, the overall the game was very uninteresting. It was just back and forth, whatever. Just Tauros ended up sweeping the end game against Primeape and Florges. So yeah, whatever. Tanish won NU. It was expected. And then doubles happened. This one was interesting. Very quick. But Tanish used effectively the Regidrago to his advantage, outspeeding Roaring Moon with Tailwind support and using Landorus' Stomping Tantrum to shut down pretty much everything Arcanine brought and swept them to win.
Yep, I gotta say, Regidrago, that's a little unorthodox.
Apparently, Doubles World Cup has been using the Regidrago. I'm not sure about that one. But I've been told that. I've been hearing that in the chat as well.
Oh yeah, Tanish himself said so. So I think we can assume he's right, considering that's literally the idea behind his team.
So I'm not gonna be surprised.
I don't think he'd be using it if it wasn't true, Mikoi. We don't have reason to doubt.
Oh boy, wait till Regidrago helps in usage in doubles then, after Doubles World Cup. Let me just see that. Alright, so Tanish...
Yeah,
go ahead.
To those who are saying it's not that uncommon, or it is uncommon, from personal experience, it's definitely not common.
It's niche.
I think that's a good way of putting it.
It's a niche. Very good niche. So yeah, Tanish is actually in round 3. Round 3 of the winner's bracket, along with Penter, Fragment, 79I2, JJ, Let's Rumble Shall We, Nimzo, and Siphicon. So they all can take a break while the losers bracket rages on. First off, in the losers...
Not gonna lie, I think people kind of sleeping on Tanish in this tour.
He's not bad. He is improving. Which I am excited to see how far Tanish will go.
He's a motivated player who's getting involved in a lot of things really quickly for how new he is.
Yeah. Who do we want to compare Tanish to?
Good question.
A younger Siphicon? I don't know.
Why Siffy?
I don't know. That's the first name that came to mind while I'm looking at this pool.
Well, don't look at this pool. I don't think anyone in this pool is quite comparable.
Wow, okay. Alright. Next up, the losers bracket. First off, G of 97 defeating the sub Amstan. Yay, G of got to win a game in TLT. Woo!
Yay! Now let's hope she does it again.
Let's hope. She won in 2 as well, which was very dominant. First off was RU. Geov managed to play this relatively alright, using the Magnezone to defeat the Hippowdon, gaining the special defense against...
Actually, they both used a Magnezone to defeat Hippowdon.
Oh, they did? Yeah, that's right.
They both brought a Hippowdon, and they both brought a Magnezone.
And they both killed the Hippowdon with that Magnezone, but I think Geov's damage was more standoutish compared to when Amstan did it.
Nah, the Flash Cans both did a frick ton.
Okay, then. But it gained the Spadef drop. It gained the Spadef against Amstan's own Magnezone. Diancie was preserved relatively well, tanking the Decidueye's hits, and Mimikyu swept...
But...
What?
Are you for lynched and stuff? Like, twice.
I mean, getting flinched once and twice doesn't take away the fact that DNC still managed to take the triple arrows relatively well.
Yeah, but you're forgetting that it couldn't actually that it got ridiculously crippled due to the fact it got flinched twice and wasn't able to tie up the game.
Yeah, that was pretty unfortunate. But Geoff did manage to bring it back. After losing that DNC, Geoff managed to bring it back with Mimikyu, because it swept the end game against Amstan's own Terra Ghost DNC, and even dodging the Iron Jugulus's Hurricane to hit the play rough.
And I'm pretty sure Geoff won because of that Hurricane miss. But it evens out because her Diancie was flinched twice, and it would have been higher HP when it killed the Decidueye. So I think it evens out, and Geoff would have won without the flinches earlier.
Tit for tat. Tit for tat.
Yeah.
Next up was OU, which Amstan did have the lead around the beginning. Sandy Shocks killing Rabambi despite being webbed, and a methodical killing to Dragonite involving the Terra Fairy Kingambit, Rillaboom, and Sneasler. Very methodical.
I'm gonna say I was very confused watching this game.
Why?
Because the way Geoff played her Dragonite, I was like, wait, she stayed in on that?
Yeah, I have no idea
and
why.
And it paid off?
I don't know why. Why would you stay in on the Dragonite? So bringing it in
Sandy Shocks and killing it, that's fine. But then Dragapult comes out and Geoff stays in with Dragonites. So the thing turns out, so I guess no harm, no foul. And the Dragonite just gets to roost up. And then the Kingambit Terra Fairies and Terra Blasts, and I'm like, surely she switches it out now. And no.
She wants to sack it. I don't know. For the long game?
Yeah, she was like ready to lose that Dragonite the instant Dragapult came out or something. I was like confused watching that sequence.
I have no idea. I also had no idea.
I guess it makes sense since this is like an HO type of team.
Yeah. I guess. But...
Oh yeah, I was also really surprised that Enamorous outsped Sneasler.
Was that an intentional Scarf? Or it's just the calculations?
So obviously that was Scarf Enamorous, because
yes.
I think it would be impossible for it to outspeed otherwise.
Yes. But I think...
But, like...
Yeah, I
think... What confused me is that, that must mean the Sneasler wasn't max speed.
Right. I think that was just mainly focused up. Or maybe it was Adamant Nature, not Jolly Nature.
Yeah, it had to be Adamant Nature because Jolly Unburden, even with the -1 speed, still outsped Scarf and Amherst. Yep. It was still faster.
Yep. But yeah, towards the end, Geoff's Kingambit was able to outspeed Terra Fairy's Kingambit by the webs earlier.
Let's not forget that he terrored her Golden Go to survive a hit from Dragapult and revenge kill it.
Yeah, that was very nice. That was a very nice play there. And then towards...
She was expecting a Shadow Ball, so she terrored into Terra Dark. Dark. I guess it helps you live Flamethrower too.
I mean, yeah, Goldengo's not usually known for the special defensive investment, but apparently it just made it work.
I mean, it's a Goldengo.
I know.
I don't think you realize that Goldengos are kind of bulky. They don't usually run a ton of bulk.
I know defensive investment on Goldengo's fine.
Most people like to take advantage of their insane special attack, but they are bulky.
They are surprisingly bulky. Maybe run defense invested Goldingo next time and see see how good it can tank a physical hit, or maybe run something like assault vest Goldingo so it can take special hits very well. Just saying.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, its special defense is actually base 91.
That's very good. That's very good to hear. But yeah, towards the end, we got Geo's King Gambit was able to outspeed the Terra Fairy King Gambit via the webs that were placed upon earlier, and then killing it with Ironhead, winning Geo the game. So yeah,
Yep.
Geo played this relatively alright. Hopefully we get to see more of that.
He played it well.
Yay.
I don't know. I still find the Dragonite turns to be questionable.
Weird.
With the way that she was apparently fine with losing it there, and it was not exactly a risk.
Yeah, maybe play her Dragonite better, and then Geo would be pretty decent.
No, I wouldn't change how she played the Dragonite because it worked for her.
Okay. Allowed her to tank a lot. But yeah, well played for Geo. Next up, oh boy, this one definitely caused a stir. Definitely made me scream a hell of a lot. TGA.
Is it Zyro versus? Oh, never mind.
TGA beat Sylveon Use Calm Mind. A C tier player managed to beat the only S tier player that I have on the tier list.
You don't have to put it like that.
But collectively, people were thinking, oh, Sylveon's going to win this tour. Sylveon's number one. Sylveon's going to win in this tour. Nope! Losing it on the first round of the loser's bracket to some guy named the Gaming Attack.
Okay, now that you can put like that, alright, because Sylveon being out round 2 is not something anyone expected.
Nope. No one will let anyone expect it. But Sylveon had an unlucky turn of events here. First off, OU. Sylveon. I wish he could have played this game better because this was weirdly played. I know a lot of people called me out on this, but I personally thought he could have played better. It was just weird how it turned out. First off, Sylveon wasting his Terra on Heatran at the beginning. That was already
No, that was... I guess technically it was a waste, but it was understandable why he Terra'd.
Yeah, because body press from Garganackle. I get that. I get that the body press wouldn't do jack crap on Terra Ghost Heatran. But I still think he could have switched in things that were better suited for that body press.
Like Hatterene?
Hatterene maybe even Rillaboom, but because Rillaboom I know can tank.
No, not Rillaboom.
No, Rillaboom. Don't let the fact that Rillaboom is only grass type fool you. Or I think Rillaboom's defenses are.
Not Rillaboom.
Isn't Rillaboom's defenses good?
They're okay, but this wasn't the bulky Rillaboom.
Okay, if this wasn't the Rillaboom, then okay, fine. But yeah, the body press, they could have switched in better things. All I'm saying is that he could have done better to suit out against the Garganackle. Then, letting King Gambit be burned against Cinderace immediately was also a bad choice on his end. Because Supreme Overlord wasn't fully utilized yet and just had to be sacked. Like, I didn't like that play. I didn't like the play at all. And it just wasn't. And I'm sure Sylveon had a plan there, but it just didn't work out. So yeah, overall this game I just felt I just felt really bad. I just felt really bad throughout this game. Then towards the end, Sylveon used Sneasler for the end game, was preparing to do some damage with it. Managing to kill Great Tusk, which wasn't good, and Sneasler looked in prime position for the sweep, right? Well, turn 30 happened. Sylveon Sylveon apparently, according to some, had a 50-50 play here. It was either he was going to Sword Stance to try to get up to try to outplay the Sucker Punch, or King Gambit was gonna Sucker Punch, or no, sorry, how would I rephrase this? No. It was either Sneasler had to Sword Stance to prevent the Sucker Punch, or Sneasler was gonna kill it with close combat. Sylveon chose to Sword Stance.
I guess the Sneasler wasn't acrobatics. I guess no one's running acrobatics Sneasler anymore.
The one time I'm
actually. If it was acrobatics,
there would be no reason. There would be no reason. He would just use acrobatics. Wasn't?
Yeah, he would just acrobatics the Great Tusk like immediately, and then he'd still have the +1 defense boost. He would have been at good enough health to
tank a Sucker Punch.
Survive a Sucker Punch, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, it was either outplaying the Sucker Punch or just straight up killing it. And Sylveon chose to overpredict on the Sucker Punch. So yeah.
Well, it makes sense, but yeah, it didn't work out.
Didn't work out in the end. LC was next, and this was just unfortunate. This was just an unfortunate game outright, because Nummel, being critted and paralyzed in turn 9 against Voltorb, was unfortunate, setting the tone for pretty much the entire game. Vullaby was Sylveon's last minute option, but TGA took advantage of it being low and weak armor and killed it. Played the end game well enough to put Mienfoo to sleep and then won the game based off of it. Okay. But yeah, that early turn with Nummel kind of sucked for Sylveon.
Yeah.
So yeah, the gaming attack made Sylveon use Calm Mind. We will never get to see this level of upsets ever again.
I don't know about that.
What, you're thinking ahead, and there would be something that would equally shock you?
I mean, probably.
Well, this to me shocked me the most, so I was pretty much upset. Guess who's winning upset of the year? Next up, Seru losing to Failbur. Well then, oh boy.
To be honest, I did feel like that one could have gone either way.
First off was LC, where Seru started off the stronger, getting a lucky para on Glimmet on turn 1, and was able to beat Drifloon with Rock Blast, subbing the Diglett Alola, even critting Shelder to a fault. But Failbur started to come back around turn 8, using the Icicle Spear to kill Diglett, then getting high rolls enough to beat Mienfoo. I feel like it was high rolls.
Wait, high rolls?
It was either high rolls or it was just a +2 attack working.
What turn? Oh, do you mean,
Turn 10, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think those were high rolls. I think that was the normal roll.
Oh, the +2 attack working on its end. Okay, fair enough. In the end, Nummel beat Tinkatink, and Voltorb outpaced Seru's own Voltorb, saving the Terra Ice on the last turn to win.
Yeah, which was a good thing to. That was a good idea because because Sarah went for Thunderbolt first.
Yeah, it was a good use of Terra.
And Thunderbolt would have hit neutrally if Voltorb Terra'd.
Yeah. So it was a good use of Terra, saving it for the last turn to effectively kill the Voltorb. Next up was NU, which, oh boy, this all mattered in one turn and one turn only. Turn 4, where Failbur got lucky with Altaria's Bravebird defeating a paralyzed Heracross who couldn't move thanks to the paralysis.
Yeah, that Facade had it gotten a chance to hit. I think that was a dead Altaria.
That was a dead Altaria. Or if
not dead, very close to dead.
It would have done big damage. Well, I think it would have killed, but yeah, a Facade that strong
probably
would have killed. Especially
a Guts Facade that strong with it being status boosted.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then Failbird just swept the rest with Terra Ghost the Dunsparce, who Scyther couldn't break, and Roost spammed all of its aerial ace attacks to boost off Calm Mind and Boom Burst to win.
I'm personally of the opinion that Sarah should have switched out of Scyther earlier and into Florges and started setting up with Florges.
Right. That would have been a better use of using the Duns. That would have been a better use to counteract the Dunsparce instead of trying to aerial ace it all the time.
Because let me tell you something. What a Boom Burst at plus 3.5 attack.
Special attack.
Special attack. A Boom Burst at plus 3.5 special attack did 73. It didn't kill.
It did not kill. Florges can tank. Florges can easily tank that.
So, did a Boom Burst at plus 2 even do half then?
No. Oh, no, actually, no. Probably.
So yeah, I just think you should have switched in the floor just nice and early, so he could start setting that up. If it was in fact that set, I realized that thing was apparently boots, which is a bit odd.
Calm Mind, Moonblast, Moonlight, or Psyshock even. So yeah, would have been.
No, usually. Protect, Wish, Calm Mind, Calm Mind, Moonblast, or sometimes, or maybe not quite that. They run Terrablast too sometimes.
Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, the set I list is incorrect for what standard. But yeah, if Sarah had capitalized and switched in Florges early on a safe switch-in against Failbur's Dunsparce, he would have at least put up a fight against it, and it would just be who gets the crit first.
Yeah, true, but Failbur probably got the crit first.
Because he's Failbur.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up. VKHSS versus Velvet. First game. Oh, fuck's sake. Oh dear God. No. Let's not talk about the first game. Let's talk about the second game. Ubers. Kyogre did wonders for Velvet early on, ice beaming Koraidon to get it to low, and tanking Azacian's Wild Charge to kill it with Surf.
Not gonna lie, I'm surprised that killed.
That did kill, which I
mean, didn't kill. I'm surprised it didn't kill, +1 Ice Beam onto the Koraidon.
I also was... Well, no. Maybe Koraidon's special defense. Maybe it was invested to tank a Ice Beam from Kyogre. Problems started for Velvet when VK poisoned her Tinglu and even taunted it, not allowing it to properly stall and set up hazards effectively, which Velvet was kind of put off guard with, caught off guard, and couldn't really do anything with the taunt Arceus.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I don't have a problem with how Velvet played the sequence of Tinglu turns there, but I think she should have switched it out to try and keep it healthy, because the Toxic was doing some real damage.
It was, and not very well, and not very good either, considering Tinglu doesn't have recovery as other ground types do. Then Clodsire managed to wall a Zacian effectively with Unaware and Recover spam. It was unaware. It wasn't water.
Yeah, Clodsire walling a Zacian is not something is not something you see every day. Usually they run Water Absorb and Ubers. This is one of the few unaware Clods.
Yeah, I'm proud of my boy. Clodsire. I mean, it was a good Zacian counter as opposed to being a good Kyogre counter.
Which means this team was really weak to Kyogre in hindsight.
Yeah. Even poisoned Clodsire managed to even poison Arceus before succumbing to it after 2 extreme speeds. And then the
fact it took multiple of those extreme speeds too. Damn, that's a bulky Clod.
That is a bulky Clod. And the end game saw the Terrifier Arceus beat the rest of Velvet's remaining mons, giving VK a pretty decisive win. And then they were supposed to play doubles. However, Velvet gave VK the win in doubles. I don't think that's ever happened in TLT, has it?
I doubt it.
Because it's really dumb. It is really dumb. I had such an issue.
Especially when you're both in the loser's bracket.
Especially when you're both in the loser's bracket and you had the opportunity to ban it when you were selecting tiers.
Why does everyone keep saying that? I'm guessing VK just locked the tier or something.
Maybe he did, but... Maybe he did try to take advantage of that, but... You could have just still played the game anyway. I hate it.
I think it makes sense for VK to lock doubles, because I think the tiers that VK is good at are also what Velv's good at.
Why are people just why are just people unwilling to learn the meta if they are locked against it? Like, come on, at least if you're gonna at least be familiarized with it. I hate it when people not try. I hate it when people not try, basically. That's what I'm saying.
You hate it when they not try.
I hate it when people don't try. There.
Good job.
Speaking of people
but I can understand why people are intimidated by doubles, because it really is fundamentally a different way of playing compared to every other tier.
Or people are just unwilling to learn it.
Well, that's why they're unwilling to learn it, Miko. I just explained why they're unwilling.
Hate it. Speaking of people who don't try at all, next up is LCAP managing to beat TDR.
Wow.
Alright, first off was Monotype. Although I will give LCAP credit, though. Monotype, he did pretty well with him. Lilligant, Hisui...
Mikoi complimenting LCAP? What timeline is this?
Well, I had to... Well, I had to do it for the previous insult of not trying. I had to balance it out, basically. Well, first off, Monotype. Lilligant Hisui was a big asset for LCAP. He was able to dominate TDR's water team pretty well, IMO. It's like TDR only had Haze Toxapex to withstand the Lilligant Hisui, but even then, Lilligant was just too problematic, getting off a Victory Dance and then multiple Leaf Blades off. I think
this Lilligant was an absolute menace into TDR's water team.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of that can realistically, and I say this with the most biggest air quotes possible, possibly Clairsmon Gastrodon, but even then, that isn't a good switch in against the Lilligant.
Yeah, that's not a switch in. That just dies to a Leaf Blade before it can do anything.
Yeah, that's just a sack.
I think what you really mean to say is that the only thing that can actually do much of anything versus the Lilligant is Greninja, because it's got extra sensory.
But even then, if it gets off one Victory Dance, it's over. I guess.
Yep.
I guess unless Scarf, but that isn't really gonna do much. Or Sash Greninja.
Oh yeah, Iron Hands is pretty scary here too.
You think so? Oh yeah. Well, after you lost the ground type, then Iron Hands becomes insanely hard to deal with.
Because it'll tank basically everything you throw at it.
Yep. It's a fat mon. It's a really fat mon.
Yes, it's very wide.
Alright, OU is next, and LCAP had the advantage from the start, using webs, and TDR just not finding a good opportunity to rapid spin early on, and wasting Zapdos against the Iron Moth. Maybe there were some good opportunities for TDR to try to rapid spin that, but he just couldn't find any. In the end,
I gotta wonder, did TDR just try to hit the Hurricane because it does the biggest damage, or did he think the Iron Moth was a bug type?
He's not that. He's not that. Or maybe it could Terra Bug or do something, I don't know. But maybe it's the former. Endgame.
I don't know. Me personally, I think I'd be too scared to risk that.
Okay. Endgame saw the Terra Fairy King Gambit Oko the Sucker Punch on the Sneasler and killing Rillaboom at the end, winning this game and the series for LCAP. It really is a very strange timeline when Sylveon used Calm Mind, didn't get out of round 1 losers bracket, yet LCAP did.
I gotta wonder, did TDR not have T-Wave or something on his Zapdos? What was his Zapdos set?
I have no idea. Hopefully we could find it. Alright, next up. Speaking of someone who lost in round 1 losers bracket, but LCAP made it or advanced, sorry. Pokeart, talk about your series versus TMM.
Oh.
First off, UU. What do you have to...
Why gotta talk about it?
I guess UU was just really hard because TMM mains this tier and practically dominated you in this game.
Well, that and take a look at my team. Do you see an Iron Hands answer?
No.
The answer's no.
No, there is no Iron Hands answer. But also the threat of Scizor. Like, Scizor safely sword stanced against you at one point. I believe it was on turn... Let me see. Not the Moltres. You did well against the Moltres. There. Right here. This turn 12. Turn 11 to 12. Like you got to switch to Scizor.
Yeah.
You got to switch to Scizor, and then you let TMM set off a Swords Dance right here.
In hindsight, I should have earthquaked. Oh God, Mikoi, I hear myself on your end. Can you stop? Can you make that stop? I don't hear myself echoing in a horribly distorted way anymore.
Anyway, go ahead. Explain more of why the Scizor.
In hindsight, I should have earthquaked there. I played that too passively, but the reason I didn't? Well, I've seen plenty of Scizor run close combat.
I guess that was your biggest threat, wasn't it? At the time.
I was scared of that thing close combating me.
Yeah, at the time, yeah, Scizor having close combat. Yeah, the knockoff, and you had to Terra Electric here to tank at least one bullet punch from the Tornadoes. Which, okay. And
yeah, I'm pretty sure I outright lost the game to Scizor, if I didn't, if I didn't Terra to tank that and, kill it.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Iron Hands came in, kind of swept you, using the Earthquake and the Drain Punch to absolutely manhandle you. It wasn't a pretty sight.
You don't have to phrase it like that. What the hell?
Alright, fine. Next is doubles. This one was kind of scary early on because TMM had the stronger...
Wait, Mikoi, can I say something though?
Okay, go ahead.
An earlier version of this team I brought had a banded Meowscarada with Play Rough.
Would that have killed though?
I don't know if it would have killed, but it would have done a hell of a lot. And take a look at TMM's team. Look at how many things that are weak to Fairy here. You got 3 things weak to Fairy. You got the Iron Leaves that's weak to Dark. The Sandy Shocks that's weak to
Grass.
Basically, a banded Meowscarada would have done pretty nicely here.
Yeah, but that would force you to, play around it and keep it healthy for multiple turns.
Well, Mikoi, look, my Meowscarada didn't come in until, the end.
Yeah, and that was kind of a factor there at the end, so, and you had to Flower Trick just to get in some good damage in, but, yeah.
Obviously, I realized that, I realized by late in the game that, no matter what I did, I wasn't going to be able to win because it would just Drain Punch and get the health back. I wasn't able to deal enough damage for it to, properly get whittled down enough to be in kill range because it could just Drain Punch everything back to a health in which it lives the next attack, and basically I wasn't able to kill it.
Iron Hands, send it to OU. Never have it in UU ever again, please.
Yeah, there was a reason it was banned in the first place.
Yeah, reban it. Why didn't they? I don't know. Anyway, next up, doubles. TMM had the stronger lead in this game for a bit. This kind of scared you at one point.
Watch me absolutely fumble my beginning.
Yeah, you killed the TMM got the kill off Tornadoes early. Pokeart, you'd have to play around with multiple stat lowering, especially because Ursaluna was so crippled. His stat lowered a lot in this game. Volcanion dying to Chin Pao. That was very unfortunate.
Well, that was just destined to happen. I took the double kill there. I expected that to happen.
You did. Ursaluna was just so crippled, I felt sorry for it. So, but
Yeah, that poor Saluna did nothing in the end.
But give credit, you clutched that endgame. Somehow you clutched that endgame. The Fluttermane was able to kill the Arcanine Hisui. Then Terrifier, Rillaboom, living off a Sucker Punch to kill the Grassy Glide and Grassy Glide the Tianpao. And then Ogerpon just dealt with the rest of TMM's mons, including a Terra Dragon Goldengo.
Yeah, I could have actually just Ivy cudgeled his Rillaboom and had my Rillaboom attack his Goldengo, and it would have been over even faster.
Yeah. But of course in the end you just had to rely on your Ogerpon at the end, and yeah. Ivy Cudgel would have done wonders for you.
I mean, I figured the Goldengo was the bigger threat here.
Yes, it was. Definitely it was. By the end, I was thinking, okay, Goldengo might clutch this endgame, but TMM had to play some risky crap in order to win. So, yeah.
But but like, even when you're down a few mons, a doubles game is never over, especially when you got the good positioning.
We've been watching
And you see, once Fluttermane and Rillaboom came out, I knew, wait a minute, I'm in a good position now.
We've been watching.
It's time to turn this around.
We've been watching VGC much too often to know that you don't count out the end game. Like, that end game matters, and so yeah, that ultimately that put Pokeart in a pretty good position in order to win that game.
Besides, I knew my Fluttermane set well. I knew it was going to live anything the Tianpao threw at it.
Yeah, well, you invested on
crits. Yeah, that's a bulky Fluttermane.
Wow, you actually invested.
Bulky Specs Fluttermane.
Is that a defense invested Fluttermane or a special defense?
I think it's a somewhat typical spread, because the Stample team I was using in tours during quals also had it.
Okay, fair enough.
Or something similar, but like, let me tell you the spread.
Okay, go ahead.
248 HP.
Ow.
156 defense.
Wow, okay.
40 special attack.
Fair enough.
64 speed.
Fair enough. That
Timid nature.
Yeah, fair enough. That is a fair spread. I wouldn't be surprised. And then next up was Ubers, where people meme on you a lot during this first couple of turns, where you were immediately caught off guard when you were boosting that Koraidon with the Swords Dance, but Tinglu whirlwinded it.
Well, yeah, because I figured he doesn't know what set I am. Who the hell would stay in on that?
No one.
It's one thing if you know the set. Well, I guess based on the rest of the team, he probably guessed what it was.
He knew that was going to be a swords dancing Koraidon?
Well,
instead of a scarf Koraidon?
Yeah, maybe, because my team was screen setup sweepers, yeah?
Yeah, yes, very much so.
So yeah, he probably figured it was a setup sweeper and decided I was gonna set up, and so he didn't get setup sweepered. He just whirlwinded it.
Ah, well. The crew.
I shouldn't have thought maybe I shouldn't have been under the impression that he wouldn't know, because I guess clearly he plays the tier enough to know.
Yes. Yeah, TMM is competent in Ubers.
More competent than me. I did not want to play this tier, but unfortunately, this and LC is what the last 2 tiers were, and to my surprise, he banned LC, and I was devastated.
Aww. But
yeah, like, you know I'm actually competent in LC. Like, I can beat people in that.
Yeah,
I can beat good people in that.
Yeah, you are. But yeah, Ubers was the worst of the two, and you had to play that. So, the crucial turn, to me at least, came when Arc Ground was stayed in, managing to survive TMM's own Arcus Ground, its Ice Beam. But TMM did kinda played smart and sacked his Tinglu, forcing the Ditto switch in to forcing you to haphazardly set up screens.
Yeah.
You even said Axe should have followed my gut and subbed there. I'm like, yeah, you kind of had to, didn't you?
Well, let's see. Did I have to? I'll go to the turn.
Turn 10.
That.
Turn 10.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I should have subbed there. But it would have been pretty bad if he stayed in and attacked me that turn, so I thought maybe it wasn't worth the risk.
Unfortunately.
I thought maybe he was sacking the Arc Ground.
Yeah, but he kept his Arc Ground, which surprised me, and but in hindsight, it is a smart play. He was able to sack his Tinglu. Just enough for Ditto to get...
I don't know. It was sort of like the same reasoning, I thought. Like, I was thinking, maybe I should sub here in case he sacks something. But then again, what did he do in like in the first few turns of the game? He stayed in with the Tinglu, to my surprise. So I figure, maybe he's just staying. Maybe he'll stay in with the Arc Ground. I mean, it's low. You can't really take a hit from anything I have to offer.
I guess.
So maybe he'll just let it die there to get a safe switch in.
I guess.
But
yeah.
But like, it also, if he stayed in and like pressed Earthquake, if I subbed, then my sub would have been broken, and then I would still have no chance.
Yeah, I guess TMM's kind of I guess TMM did kind of had an unpredictable choice there that you couldn't capitalize on. So yeah, in the end, it was the TMM's Koraidon basically managing to sweep you by the end. So yeah, Ditto. Yeah. Fear the Ditto.
Okay, but to be fair, this MU sucked.
This MU does suck. Fear the Ditto, Pokeart. Fear the Ditto.
I'm not super great at Ubers, even less so with piloting this kind of hyper offense. I tend to prefer things with a bit of a bulky backbone.
Yeah. That is kind of like your style, so you were not used to hyper offensive at all.
Not this kind, no. Not Ubers.
Yeah.
I piloted balance all throughout quals.
I mean, I would be in that same camp as well. I like balance more. Alright. Well, that knocks you out, and now you're forced to just sit in the sidelines and just co-commentate with me for the rest of this tour. Yay!
Fine with me. I mean, I had a logo to get done that weekend anyway, so I didn't really want to waste more time prepping.
Yeah, no.
Besides, it was all the prepping and anticipation of my last week game that got me so freaking nerve-wracked that I misplayed and cost my own set.
Yikes. Yikes. Alright, next up, the penultimate game, we saw Cyril versus Trout in Space. I think the tagline I used for this first game, which was NU, I think the tagline perfectly makes it sense. It's from the Monkeys' I'm a Believer. What's the use of trying? All you get is pain.
When I wanted sunshine, I got rain.
But no, that lyric doesn't make sense because neither brought rain. What are you talking about?
Well, it means instead of happiness, you get gloominess, Mikoi.
And that's exactly what this game felt to me. I did get gloomy, and I got a little bit, angry. I was definitely.
You're not a believer, huh?
Yeah, then I saw this team, and I'm not a believer in either of these. Because, goddamn, these sets are. What? What the fuck? What are these kinds of sets, huh? This was.
I'm sorry, you're funny when you're angry, Mikoi.
Like, holy crap! These kinds of sets, these are the sets that are played in this kind of thing. Like, what the frick? First of all, the first turn where Trout in Space switched in his Hariyama against the freaking Articuno Galler's Freezing Glare. That one was kind of rough. And tried to bullet punch it.
I don't know about that one,
Chief, this was just weird, bro. This was just a weirdly played game with weird sets. There was
I feel like that Hariyama could have done a good bit had it been kept around. Like, was there any reason you didn't send in Colossal, maybe? Or
right? Or no, he stayed in with Colossal because Colossal was the first one brought out, and then he switched it out to Hariyama to take the Freezing Glare.
Yeah. Oh, wait, really?
Yes, that was turn 1. That was turn 1.
Oh yeah, that's very weird. That is very weird.
Right? Yeah, there was just some.
I guess he wanted to preserve the Colossal, but I don't know if.
I don't know, Chief.
Hariyama was worth it.
I don't know, Chief. That just seems really weird. There's some really weird sets. I've seen the Scald Colossal before. I've seen that, so I'm not that mad at it. But the rest of it, I'm like, what the fuck did you brought, woman? And
Not woman.
I'm just so used to calling you woman. There was Body Press Tauros Blaze. There was Dual Wingbeat Scyther. There was friggin'.
Well, that's not. Well,
that's not good. That's not that bad.
I mean, like Scyther, used to run Dual Wingbeat all the time.
Yeah. That one I'm not as mad as about, but unlike Body Press Tauros over here, but Dual Wingbeat Gligar, really?
Yeah, that one caught me a little off guard.
And somehow
it makes sense.
Go ahead.
Maybe it's specifically for dealing with Scyther.
Maybe, but again, running it on a freaking Gligar, that doesn't make sense at all. What the hell?
Yeah, usually Gliscor has. Oh God, I'm hearing the echoes again, Mikoi.
Oh, sorry.
Can you get them to stop?
Yeah, there's just more. There's just more to this weirdness. Like, Psychic Fangs actually managing to get the crit on Goodra, which I wasn't mad about. But still, what the hell? Gligar getting Dual Wingbeat and actually proving its worth because the fact that friggin' Trout had multiple mods that are weak to flying?
Well, it makes sense. I mean, if you want some better damage than Earthquake, or, well, actually any damage, because, Earthquake can't hit Scyther, and Scyther is a very prominent mon in the tier, and it can hit really hard, and, Gligar is one of the few things that Scyther cannot hit very well.
Also, the fact that, Cyril's team kind of is a little bit, I would say semi-stally, but even then, I don't think he utilized the semi-stall well.
Well, also, you're back to what you said about Body Press Tauros.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess I guess it's sort of like the PU Toro set, where that runs bulk up body press with the pure fighting Toros.
At least that would make sense, other than the freaking Taurus Blaze.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I don't really get why run it in NU, though.
No.
What is that for exactly?
What is that for, anyway? You had Raging Bull, which does sufficiently good damage to it already. You don't need body press, you just need close combat or something. Jeez.
Maybe it's a bulky Tauros.
Maybe. I don't know. But in the end...
If it's a bulky Tauros, I can understand, because, like, you don't want your defenses getting lowered if you're trying to be bulky.
But yeah, just this entire 28-turn game was just full of unconventional sets and making the most off-the-cuff plays. We
don't technically know how unconventional some of these are due to lack of experience. I genuinely have not touched this tier in months.
Well, look at what the tier's changed, Pokehard. Look at that. I've played a little bit of NU Current, and I've used... the things I've seen here are not what I've seen in normal NU, let's just say. Ugh. But anyway... Anyway, rant over. Doubles went fairly okay, at least, but not much better. For Cyril, at least. At least he had the upper hand, crit killing the Iron Hands with Landorus' Stomping Tantrum and taking care of Glamora easily. However, things turned around in Trout's favor when Cyril revealed that he had Terra Poison Manaphy. What?
And forgot type matchups.
Who Terra Blasted and did very little damage to Fluttermane, while Trout punished him for it by critting with Bleakwind Storm. And then game went solely in Trout's favor by the end, using the Terra Fairy Heatran to beat the Roaring Moon and the Grimmsnarl, despite the parting shots, winning the Trout the game.
God, I love Terra Fairy Heatran. It's so good.
It is good. We've seen it in VGC a couple of times, and god damn is that thing good.
I used that I used it in the tour quals. It has won me so many games. Oh my god.
It's good.
It's so good against stuff like Chenpao,
Roaring Moon,
Dragonite,
Roaring Moon, Grimmsnarl,
Roaring Moon in rare cases,
Iron Hands if you're lucky.
Oh yeah, Iron Hands too.
Like, it's so good. It's a good switch-in against pretty much everything, and that's just the beauty of using Terra Fairy Heatran. It's so good. Then UU, which I was less mad about. I was less mad about Cyril winning. It's just the fact that NU game freaking sucked. So yeah, UU Cyril played this relatively straight, using the balloons Iron Shreds to wall balloon Sandy Shocks, Volcanion tanking the Iron Leaf Psyblade in order to kill it, and then Terra watering Iron Shreds to beat Quaquaval. Again, a pretty straightforward game, but that's just the nature. Cyril did play this okay. Would you say it's more okay?
I think it was played fine.
Okay. Yeah,
very straightforward, as you said.
Yeah, knocking out Trout from the losers bracket and TLT as a whole. And then last but certainly not least is Ineffable beating Soulstorm via Act.
Well, I was right about Ineffable winning, I guess.
Shit, that the lower score than predict, I guess. So that brings us to the end of game recap. Okay, alright. Please announce who wins and predicts.
Do you by chance know who won?
No, actually no. I haven't been keeping up as much. I'm just here to put the names in.
Well, Neither of us did great.
Thank freaking Lord that we didn't do great, because goddamn these predicts went out the wazoo when the games played. Jesus Christ. Also, I didn't actually do this, but I think wait. You know what? Let me actually do something really quick. So, in order of tiers played in round 2, we had the winners being Ubers and OU, played 6 times each in round 2. Which I kind of expected. Most people would like to play the higher tiers, at least in this case. Especially since where the meta is at this point. Second place came with DOU and doubles and monotype with 5. RU is next with 4. NU and UU set up with 3. LC with 2. And PU, strangely, with 0.
Strangely? No, I think it's actually perfectly
You
sensible.
people suck. You just don't want to play PU.
Mikoi, PU sucks.
Stinky tier.
Yeah, it's horrid right now.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see what PU does this gen. I really want to see PU played again. Especially with the crap especially with the crap it's been in this current meta at least. Alright, PokeArt. Who won predictions?
Second, no, I'll just announce the winner, because let's face it, there's no point in announcing second place, because that's an automatic tell of who won anyways.
Yeah.
The winner is Mikoi with 7 correct predicts.
Out of 16. So, yeah. It's amazing I still got more, or maybe it's because I was using my betting man instincts for some of these.
That is true, and I got second place with only 5.
It was a strange week. Let's just say it right now. It was a very strange week.
I've yet to tally the predicts of everyone else, but yeah, I'm guessing a lot of people did similar to you and me. Not great.
Yeah, you can post the results later in the chat in the tour server if you want. So, yeah.
I will do that.
Alright, but before you get to do that, let's predict the losers bracket round 2, or in this case, TLT round 3. Woo!
Good thing we don't have a lot of matches to predict, because I'm kind of hungry.
Yes, and also me, because I don't have to watch as many games. Jeez. Losers bracket. First off, we got Arcanine versus Geove.
Give. Easy.
Yeah, despite the fact that we saw Arcanine use the weirdest of the weird against Tanish, I don't have any faith. I think Geove, more than worthy, proves herself to be better than Arcanine. Did they lock tiers?
Yes, they did.
Tell us.
The tiers are LC, PU, RU. Oh no, PU. Not PU.
Yes, we got to see PU!
No, maybe we won't. Give could just beat him in 2. Assuming, wait, was he the one who locked PU? Oh no.
Maybe he did, just to spite maybe he did just to spite it.
Oh no, meaning even if she wins in 2, we're still gonna see a PU game.
Yay! But yeah, I still think Geove wins.
Yeah, easy. And anyone who doesn't predict in favor of her is just that's such blatant disrespect, man. I don't understand it.
Yeah, we're Geove stands here for at least for this round. If you don't predict against Geove, then your prediction in this matchup is null and void.
Yeah, Keshba.
Next up, Taka versus TGA. This already happened. And yeah,
I was predicting Taka to win that anyways.
Me too. I think Taka is just playing a little better. Next up, we got Keshba versus Failbur.
Oh, that's Oh.
It's interesting. It is interesting. It's between tours, regulars, tours stand-ins, and I don't know if they lock tiers. Have they? You look.
Have they?
You look, cause I ain't risking it.
I have no idea.
Okay, if they didn't post in the tour server, then yeah, we will not know. But
Keshpa doesn't really speak in the TLT channel, from what I see.
okay. But yeah, the Failbur versus Kashaba. If we can make a hollow guess, who do you want to pick, Pokeart?
I really don't know, because I feel like they're very similar.
Really?
You know, they both stall.
They both do stall, but I think this is a pretty, like, easy-ish predict for me. Because I think Failbur just wins.
Yeah, thinking about it, Failbur probably is the better of the two. If I were to see like a room tour game between the two, I would expect Failbur to win. So you know what? I'll apply the same logic here.
You're gonna go with Failbur. Yeah.
I'll go with Failbur.
Don't fail us now, Burr. Next up, Genius from Hoenn versus VKHSS.
Tough.
Is it? Is it though?
Well, tell me what you think.
Are you actually deliberating in this one? Come on, it's gotta be an easy predict.
Okay, then why are you not saying what you think?
Because I think VKHSS will win. I'm kidding. No, it's Hoenn. No, it's Hoenn. 100% Hoenn. How the frick are you not gonna predict against Hoenn in this one, huh?
I'm pretty sure VK's pretty good though. No?
Yeah, from the match, from the Ubers game that we just watched, do you think he can hold a candle to Hoenn?
I've literally played him multiple times during quals. I think he's pretty good.
Oh, well, don't scare me like that. Jeez, who do you predict? Is it enough to take down Hoenn though? Like seriously, think about it.
Nico, you only saw one game. That was versus Velvet. I truthfully don't know how good or bad VK is.
You just said you played him multiple times in different tiers, I assume.
Yeah. I think I mostly lost. I think I occasionally won.
So he's beatable.
Yeah, he's beatable.
All right, then that just proves my claim even more. I think Hoenn wins.
Well, Hoenn's even more beatable, isn't he?
Wow. I would have said that when it was BLT, but not in this TLT.
Damn.
All right, so final verdict. What's your final verdict? VK. You're gonna trust your gut on this one, VK.
Yeah, that's my gut.
All right, that's all betting man instincts from PokeYard. All right. Next up, a matchup that everyone loves to see.
Although, wait, actually, depends on the tiers, to be honest. Like, I think VK totally takes OU if he locks it, and I don't know what else they're playing.
Okay. Oh, okay, fair
I mean,
enough.
clearly he held a candle to Velvet in Ubers. That's another thing.
But it's against a pretty established Ubers player in Hoenn.
And Velvet isn't a pretty
I
established
said,
Ubers
I
player?
said well, Velvet is one. Hoenn is just another, and I think Hoenn definitely has proven himself better.
But yeah, VK has shown he can hold a he can beat Velvet in Ubers.
Okay.
Oh God, there's the echoing. Make it stop.
There.
Shown that he can beat Velvet in Ubers, which is arguably Hoenn's best tier or main. And I think OU is his best tier, and
Okay.
he can play fine in most other tiers from what I'm seeing. So yeah, I think this will probably go to 3 games, but I think I'll favor VK slightly.
Okay. That's all poker betting instincts. I still think Hoenn wins, but we'll see what happens. Next up, a matchup everyone wants to see: Royal Reloaded versus LCAP. I'm surprised this hasn't happened yet, honestly, considering the fact that both have a history of no Johnning.
Well, I'm pretty sure LCAP said that he has a kind of a busy work schedule this week or something.
I see. But yeah, who do you think wins?
Royal should win.
It'd be heresy if I didn't predict Royal for this one. Yeah, Royal wins this. I can't even defend LCAP on this one. Yeah, this is Royal's game. Even in Monotype, which is I would say LCAP's best tier. Other than that, it's LC, but I think Royal will collapse him in both. So yeah. Next up, probably the highlight game of this week at least: Botsy versus TMM.
Oh, for real, that's definitely the highlight.
That's the closest. This is going to be the closest one, and this will definitely go to 3 games. I don't know if they lock tiers.
I don't know if they locked tiers either. Oh wait, TJ versus Taka was probably the highlight for a lot of people, but happened already.
Nah, but well, for it's still for my money. It's still for my money. It's gonna be Botsy versus TMM because this is gonna be
Genius
close.
versus VK is kind of a highlight too, in my opinion.
Well, for you, yes. Yeah, Botsy versus TMM.
LCAP versus Royal is a meme highlight.
I'm surprised if it isn't. So yeah, Botsy versus TMM. Who do you pick?
I already have it in mind who I pick, but I want to hear from you first.
You know what? I think I'm gonna use my own betting man instincts here because there is an explanation for this one. I think it's gonna be strategic how they lock tiers. Botsy will want to go for the higher tiers because he can beat TMM in those. Uber's OU specifically. TMM.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Botsy locks OU versus TMM. TMM's not good, or maybe he just doesn't like OU, so it's a good lock.
It's a good lock. TMM, meanwhile, is good at the lower tiers. So UU, RU, even NU. He can pretty much do those fine against Botsy. I think he'll win there against Botsy, is what I'm saying. So, I think TMM has a bigger chance of banning one of 2 of Botsy's specialties, other than Botsy getting to ban one of TMM's specialties. Because the thing is that Botsy is good at OU if he keeps it up. If he has OU and Ubers down, that's good. That's a Botsy win. But TMM has a lot more opportunities from those lower tiers that he can lock, and presumably he has a lot more chance of getting to play those specific tiers other than the higher tiers. So I think I'm going to be picking TMM on this one.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Botsy, actually.
I mean, that's fair. I still can see Botsy winning, and presume if Botsy can have Ubers and OU down, like I said, he has the game won. He has the series won. If he learns like LC or doubles, that's a wild card. Those are wild cards. LC and doubles, those are wild card things that they can throw in there just for the hell of it and try to play or whatever. But yeah, it's gonna be very close. It's gonna be very close. But I think TMM has the slight edge here in terms of productivity in tiers and versatility in tiers compared to Botsy.
I think Botsy has the slight edge in terms of playing ability, because I don't think TMM's been quite in top form.
Definitely there's room for improvement for TMM, but I have faith. I have faith in my boy. Let's go. All right, next up, Pote versus Cyril. A real highlight amongst the tours regs. It's their lord against the prince.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
That is really funny. Well then, who do you want to pick?
I think it should be pretty obvious.
Yes, it is. Come on, Pote. If you lose to Cyril, I'm never taking you seriously ever again.
I think now would be appropriate to say something like, if you lose to Cyril, you will like eat a hat or flip a table.
Even I can't beat that meme. Okay. But yeah, if the Pote loses, I have multiple hats ready. All right, next up, the last one, we have Skimmy versus Ineffable.
Skimmy.
I mean, comparing their skill-wise, their prowess, their tiers-wise, there's no question. I think Skimmy wins. I would be surprised if this goes to 3 games, but yeah, this is a definite Skimmy win. And then again, this is TLT, where anything can happen, and Ineffable might outplay Skimmy in some tiers.
Nah, Skimmy's just the better player.
Good choice. Wise choice, woman. So that brings us to the end of TLT 7 and round 3. This isn't the end of the tour.
Yeah. I was about to say, excuse me?
This isn't the end of the tour. This is just the end of the rounds predicts. Thank you all for watching. Please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. Please hit the notification bell so you wouldn't miss a video once they come out. See you next week for round 3 recap and round 4 predictions. This has been McCoy, signing out.
Bye-bye.